Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week, and it was a big week at the comic shop. I got 11 comics. 9 from my pull list, 2 off the shelf. Before we start, I want to tell you that I finally started my Patreon, and there's a free, a $6, free, a $3, and a $6 level. In the $6 level, I've been putting together a digital magazine. I made a print out of the cover. Art from the Edge of the Dream World. It's like 68 pages, 64 pages plus covers. Even though digital magazine doesn't really have inside, front, and back covers, it in a way does. But this is the cover of the first issue. And for signing up on my Patreon for $6, you get to download the issue. Otherwise, signing up for $3, you get other stuff. And signing up for free, you get stuff too. I post stuff there. So I'll put a link down below. I'll put my Patreon link down below. It's also at jaredosborne.com if you want to just go to that and click on the Patreon link. But I figured I'd let everybody know from now on that, and this cover may look familiar because it's based on one of my paintings. It's not quite the same as you can say. I originally did this drawing before I did the painting. So I had this drawing done, and then I did that painting from it. But I decided to use this drawing for the cover. I thought it was pretty neat. So there you go. Check out my Patreon. And now check out my 2 top-of-the-printer museum covers for this week. An indie book and a Marvel book. Thunder, not quite that indie because it's George Perez cover. This is from 85? The period where there was a couple of Thunder Agents books because there was some dispute on who owned the rights to it. But this was a pretty nice series by Deluxe Comics. This is issue number 3, and that's what's his name? I can't remember. Dynamo, and that's the Iron Maiden was the villainess of the book. And she and Dynamo kind of had a romantic thing going on too, even though she was a villain. So that was always fun in the Thunder Agents. I remember enjoying this series. It had a lot of big name talent from 1985, including George Perez. I think Steve Ditko even did some work for this one, but it was good stuff. And that is a Jim Starlin cover on Ghost Rider. This is a classic Ghost Rider issue from 79? 79. This is my battered old copy where Ghost Rider races death. For something or other. I can't remember what. I haven't read it in a long time. But that was always this was like the one issue everybody had back then because Jim Starlin did it. So it was good stuff. Now let's see what comics I got this week. We'll start with Super Cerebus versus COVID-19. Doing a takeoff on the Superman versus Muhammad Ali cover. And this is copy 1028 of 2326. So I don't think this cover moved the needle. I just don't think the Superman Muhammad Ali cover is that popular anymore. So it didn't move the needle on Cerebus. Usually when it's like a popular cover that gets parodied, the number moves up to 2,800 or even 3,000 for the people buying it just for its cover. So that one, once again, I think this came out, if I'm not mistaken, you can read these online somewhere. I never bothered to look up. So a lot of these are from the beginning of COVID jokes, early 2020 or mid-2020 by now. So I think this is the 3rd COVID versus Cerebus. And they're actually pretty good. I was a little worried about anybody's take on doing COVID jokes, but they're just insane. It's just Cerebus in hell with a disease in hell too, that it's just one more disease in hell amongst many of them. So it's been good. And then this was supposed to be out last week, but wasn't due to all the covers not being ready because of the paper shortage. But I picked this up because it's Eric Larson doing Ant, which was a property he bought from some other creator. I forget who. Let's see if it says. Oh, it says Ant created by. Based in part on the works of Mario Gully. Ant created by Mario Gully. So I guess there was an Ant comic book years ago. I'm not exactly sure why Eric Larson wanted to buy Ant and do an Ant comic book, but I'll give it a read. Then we've got Vinyl number 5. Like that cover. Oh, look. Ooh, now it's especially good. it's a wraparound where you get like the good and evil version of the cover. Vinyl has continued to be good. It's the gang of serial killers against the evil magic cult with a couple of FBI agents caught in the middle. And it's been fun. Who's been doing this one? I really like Doug Wagner. The artist is Daniel Hilliard. Colorist is Dave Stewart. Letterer is Eric Dukeshire. So, I've been enjoying this one. The art looks like the guys who did Invincible, too. So he must have been influenced by them. There's a couple of them who did Invincible. I can't even remember their names right now. But good stuff. I've been enjoying Vinyl. I guess you'd call it a horror comic. Kind of a horror comedy. Then we got Usagi Yojimbo. Issue number 23. This is Ransom, part 2 of 3. Oh, that's right. They kidnapped this girl at the end of the last issue. And Usagi and his cousin are hunting for him. This cousin's a new character who they introduced earlier this year, but always good. Usagi's always a good story. Stan Sakai, master storyteller. All in color now. For 30 years it was in black and white. Now it's in color, and they're recoloring all the other ones. Always good. Then we got Time Before Time, issue number 6. This has been a time travel story. 1994 they went back to, where there's 2 companies that run time travel on the down low. One in like 2357 and one in like 3260, and they're rivals with each other. There's a nice page. And this one guy has been trying to quit his time travel job. This artist looks different. Who's drawing this? Declan Shalvey is writing it with Rory McConville. Oh, Declan Shalvey is drawing this one. He didn't draw any of the other issues. No wonder it looks different. They had another artist on the other. Maybe this is the beginning of... Did the story end? I can't remember if the story arc wrapped up last issue. I don't think it did. But maybe we had a new story arc going on. Like I said, All Apologies. Maybe that's the name of the story arc. But very much enjoyed. The first issue was unfortunately the best of the first 5, but they've all been solid, so I've enjoyed that one. Then we get Spawn 323, still the last $2.99 comic. That's why I buy it. I'm not a huge Spawn fan, but for some reason I feel obliged to buy the last sort of mainstream indie $2.99 comic. And the art is good, too. I like the artist. The artist is Carlo Barberi, because Todd McFarlane's writing is not the draw on this book. But got that one. Oh, and this one's been going for quite a while. Once and Future number 21. Kieran Dillon, Dan Mora, Tamara Bonvillain on colors. And it's all the old fairy tale people have taken over the English Isles. I don't know if they took over Ireland or not. And last issue, we got 2 King Arthurs showing up. Because that all has to do with these stories and myths being real. And people believing in them meant they showed up. And there was like the Britain King Arthur and the French King Arthur. Because the French wrote stories about King Arthur. That's where we get a lot of our legends from. There's the grandmother who's leading the charge against all this stuff. So it's been a fun series. All 21 issues of it have been good. Then we got Crossover number 9, which Howler Mouse just read the first trade of and had problems with. I said, it's a solid book. It's kind of, to me, it's a B-level book. It's not great, but it's okay. I enjoy. They all can't be A's. They all can't be Usagi Yojimbo, but a good, solid B-level book is fine with me. Here are I think this is the Powers crew over here, interviewing this woman who, it's about like actual comic book characters crossing over into our world and the chaos it creates. And you can tell who's the actual characters by the dots of color on their faces. So it's been a fun series. I've enjoyed it. And speaking of a fun series, Season 6, Issue 4 of Kaiju Max. Whoops. I think I've heard, who was it? I think Sleepy Reader has said that this is the last season of Kaiju Max. I haven't read that anywhere, but it's always good. It's a story of a giant monster's prison. And each story arc kind of has a different idea behind it. And the idea behind this one is aliens invading the Earth, so the kaiju are given time off their sentence to help defeat the aliens. And often they're not fighting the aliens, they're just digging trenches behind the lines or something like that. And they're not happy with it. But it's good stuff all along. I mean, I've enjoyed. I only started buying it with season 2, but I've bought seasons 2 through 6 now, and someday I'll get season 1, but not yet. And here's one of the ones I picked up off the shelf for $6. Gunslinger Spawn. It's double sized. I got the Brett Booth cover because I got the Brett Booth cover on King Spawn #1. I didn't buy any other King Spawns after that. I don't need 4 Spawn issues, thank you. That's too many. But I wanted the first issue, just to check it out and get the Brett Booth connecting cover that goes with King Spawn #1. I think there's another one that's coming out. This is Alice Cott additional plot script with Todd McFarlane, Brett Booth on the art, and Dallas Corona on the ink. So this whole book was done by Brett Booth? Interesting. Brett Booth is kind of... I always call him like the forgotten comic book artist because it's like there's hardly any Brett Booth fans out there. He's been doing comics for 30 years and not a lot of people know him. This doesn't look like Brett Booth. This looks like someone else. I wonder who's this. Brett Booth. Oh, Thomas Nachlik, Philip Tan, and Kevin Keane. So there must be 3 or 4, because the other ones have had, definitely not Brett Booth. The other ones have had a main story and then like 3 backup stories in the first issues. So this one probably does too. I like that cover. Pretty cool. And then the last one I got, I spent an extra $1 on the shiny cover. That's House of Slaughter #1. Which I really did. I've read some of, what does this come from? It's from Something is Killing the Children. I've read some of Something is Killing the Children, and it's all right. But I never really got that into it. I read it on Hoopla, the library app, so I never really got that into it. And this is like a prequel to it. This is one of the characters in there who I don't even remember. But I liked that cover, and I liked the shiny nature of it. So I said, you know what? I'll buy, and I'll put it in my collection of bought just for their covers, in my collection of samples of different... I think it's a chromium cover. And it's interesting because it's blank on the inside. So a lot of times when you have these specialty papers, you can't print on the inside, front, and back covers, so they don't. So oh no, they printed on the inside back cover there. I wonder why they didn't print anything on the inside front cover then. That's weird. Maybe you couldn't just... that's strange. Oh, they did print a little... There's a little design on there. If you can see those little dots. But it's weird that they didn't print... I don't know. I'll have to check the regular one and see if there's something there. But there you go. There are my comics for the week. 11 of them. There are lots of them. And don't forget... go to my Patreon, the link's down there, and you can either just look at some stuff or you can sign up and get... I'm going to be trying to get an art magazine a month out. So for every month that you pledge $6, you get a new magazine, new digital magazine. I've already got 3 of them done like this. I've got a couple others done. Collections of my photography and artwork. So I'm good for about the first 4 months, but I want to get even more stuff done before. I got 30 years of stuff to show off. So I can put out digital magazines for quite a while now. All right. So you guys have a good week out there.